Hi, a film that I heard about a while ago and was very excited to see, finally got around to watching it yesterday evening, is The Amusement Park. It has a quite unusual background. George Romero, the director of Night of the Living Dead and The Crazies and many other films, and pretty much the godfather of independent film, was hired by the Lutheran Association in North America to produce a public information film on the subject of ageism in around 1973. He went away and made the film, starring, as we see here, the actor Lincoln Maazel, as a man who ventures out into an amusement park and finds it slowly turns into a nightmare as he finds himself in various situations that are allegorical of the travail suffered by older people. Romero completed the film, presented it to the association, and found that they didn't want it. It was completely different from what they had in mind. And so the film was rejected, and it sat on a shelf until a few months before Romero's death, when he unearthed it and started making plans for its future. And now it has finally been released, and it's available for streaming on Shudder, the streaming service that specializes in horror. It's a mid-length format, which means it's only 52 minutes. So although it's not quite feature length, it's too long to be a short, so it would count really as being a feature film. It's a strange, unearthly film. It has a very oppressive atmosphere, and Mazel's character, who's never named, walks through this environment dressed initially in a very beautiful, immaculate white suit, white shirt, white tie. But over time, he becomes more and more ground down, spending amounts of money in buying tickets, which is analogous to um, the welfare and the income of elderly people. An accident at the Dodgem circuit equivalent to a car accident, and prejudice that older people face in terms of insurance and their reliability. Um, Healthcare concerns, the ability to pay for um, their own welfare in a society that effectively charges you for your own ill health. These sequences play out over and over again and become increasingly stressful and nightmarish, even though the environment is presented very ordinarily and very matter of fact. Although we do frequently get glimpses of a figure that's meant to be analogous to the Grim Reaper. The film climaxes with the man being beckoned by a young girl to read her a story as she has a family picnic. And grateful for this moment of gentleness, he starts to read the story of the three little pigs just as the mother packs up, takes the child and the book away, and the man collapses crying. The film then folds back to its start, where we see the beaten and dishevelled old man sitting alone in an empty white room, when another identical version, more smartly dressed, comes in, ready to go outside. This time we see it the other way, where the beaten version is the one we have been following for the whole film, and it's the immaculate version who comes in and appears to be excited about experiencing the outside world of the amusement park. It's quite a disturbing film, particularly the prologue and epilogue narrated by Mazel out of character directly to the audience, which he notes that remember that you too will one day be old. Um, so this is not a form of prejudice that is separate from something that we might experience. One day we will see this for ourselves and we will be on the receiving end. So it's very unnerving for that this could be in a way a vision of your own future, as a couple discover when they visit a fortune teller and are told their future will involve poverty and death. Um, but it's a very well crafted, very simple, straightforward story. It transcends its nature as a public information film to become a social horror along similar lines, perhaps, to those being uh, created by Jordan Peele, taking a different aspect, ageism rather than race. But nevertheless, a powerful and very impressive film, and a sign that Romero really was a brilliant filmmaker whose work is, I think, now finally getting its due.